All right, today new legislation was signed into law to prevent and protect minors from sexual assault.
The move coming after the Larry Nassar scandal that scarred the lives of more than 300 young female athletes.
7 Action News reporter Kimberly Craig is in Lansing, where she talked with the first woman to accuse the former doctor.
Many are calling this a landmark in legislation, but say they also recognize this is just the first step.
Well, the reality with sexual assault is that it is such a traumatic event that very few survivors are able to disclose their abuse or to pursue justice until they're usually well into adulthood.
And that's why attorney Rachel Denhollander, one of Larry Nassar's many victims, says the new laws extending the statutes of limitations in sexual assault cases here in Michigan are so critical. And she joined Lieutenant Brian Calley today, who signed the two bills into law.
This is a long overdue change. Changing the law is one thing, but what's more important than that is changing the culture that allowed this to happen, or this to be the status quo for so long.
Now with Public Acts 180 and 181, if the victim is under the age of 18 when they're sexually assaulted, a criminal indictment can be filed within 15 years or by the time the survivor turns 28, whichever occurs later. The new laws also allow anyone sexually assaulted after December 31st, 1996, the opportunity to file a lawsuit in the next 90 days if the defendant was in a position of authority over them or engaged in unethical or unacceptable medical treatment. In Michigan, there is already no statute of limitations for prosecuting cases of first-degree criminal sexual conduct.
There are a lot of institutions that don't want survivors to have a voice, that don't want them to have access to the justice system. And by doing what we have done today, we're starting to open that door. We're starting to open that access.
We also need to expect changes in culture in our institutions, whether they be private institutions or government institutions, that abuse will not be tolerated under any circumstances.
Today is the last day in session before lawmakers recess for the summer, so more bills surrounding sexual assault will be taken up in the fall. In Lansing, Kimberly Craig, 7 Action News.